so do Buddhas tell people the content of mind. Imagination starts with the seed of external impressions. The relative is whereby it grasps. What it grasps is artificial. A graspable external object comes about depending on mind. Confusion operates in two ways. There is no third cause. Since confusion occurs, so does what it depends on. I speak of mind as six-fold, 12-fold, and 18-fold. Being connected to what is grasped of subjective seeds, grasping of self disappears. By penetration of thought construction, grasping of phenomena disappears. The consciousness that operates is the receptacle consciousness, for the seat of sense must be internal, which appears external. Like seeing spots before the eyes, like a form in a dream to the unawake. Created and uncreated are always imagined but not found to be there. As a castle in the air, a magic illusion, and water in a mirage are apparent without really existing, so is the relative. Self, senses, and behavior I point out in terms of threefold mind. Thought, intellect, and consciousness have no self-definition. Mind, intellect, consciousness, and twofold selflessness. The five elements and three natures too. This is the sphere of Buddhas. What is triple in appearance is one, caused by impressions, even as one color appears diverse on a wall. Twofold selflessness, thought and cognitive consciousness. The five elements and natures too. They do not exist in my field. One who is free of thought-up descriptions, detached from consciousness and intellect, will attain the field of the realized. Where there is no inherent nature of things. There is not made pure by the body, speech, or intellect. The field of the realized is pure without practice. Purified by super-knowledges and masteries. Adorned with concentrations and powers. The mental body, the mind field of the realized, is pure. Known first-hand, undefiled, without apparent cause. The eighth stage to the stage of Buddha is the field of the realized. Far-going, good, clouds of teaching, and realized. This is the field of the Buddhas. The rest are conveyances of the two vehicles. The 7 stages where mental control is attained are taught by the Buddha to the ignorant. Due to distinction in people's mentalities, and for the sake of definition. Depravity of body, speech, and mind does not take place in the 7th. In the 8th, one's sense is like having crossed a torrent in a dream. In the 8th and 5th stages heirs of the victors master arts and sciences, and leadership in the world. One should not imagine origination or no origination, empty or not empty. Inherent senselessness is not found in the content of mind. If one imagines, this is true, this is true, this is false. It is instruction for solitaries and hearers, not for heirs of the victors. As long as there is being and non-being. There is nothing momentary, not even an appearance. If representation has concrete existence, it cannot be found, not even in the content of mind. Things are there conventionally. They are not existent in an ultimate sense. Confusion about things with no inherent nature must be conventional reality. Whereas all phenomena are unreal, representation is made by me. The expression and usage of the ignorant is divorced from reality. A thing in a word seems to be a concrete object. When seeing a thing in a word, it is found not to be. Like a picture with no wall, a shadow without a post, so the pure receptacle does not appear in a wave. Thought behaves like a dancer, intellect is like a jester. Together with five-fold consciousness, it arranges the perceptible like a stage. Teaching, reality, resulting, and emanated from the result. These Buddhas are the originals. The rest are projected forms. Mind is not there as an object. Mind is confused by objects. The receptacle appears to people as body, property, and abode. The guides speak of thought, intellect, and consciousness, nature, 5 elements, and pure twofold selflessness. The realm of first-hand realization that the leaders teach is not in the domain of logicians, nor even of listeners. The connection of long and short and so on comes about from mutual relativity. The complement of existence is non-existence, existence is the complement of non-existence. Analyzing a thing into atoms, one cannot construe a form. The basis of the content of mind is not clarified by unwarranted ideas. Don't imagine emptiness, or that it is empty too. This is inventing existence and non-existence. The object thought up isn't there. Form is imagined by the unsophisticated. As combinations of qualities, atoms, and substance. An atom does not exist individually. So a concrete thing cannot be found either. Subjective thought resembling an object of perception appears external to people. The perceived is not found outside, hence there is no concrete thing. A picture, an optical illusion, a magic trick, a dream, a castle in the air, a circle of fire, and a mirage, appear to people without really existing. Permanent or impermanent, as well as oneness, both, and neither too. Deluded fools imagine, stuck to beginningless error. There is no difference of vehicles. I say the vehicle is one. I speak of distinction of vehicles to lead the ignorant. The three liberations likewise, and the selflessness of phenomena, are abandoned by emancipation, as affliction with knowledge of sameness. As a piece of wood is carried away by the waves of the sea, so is a deluded listener carried away by appearance. That is not a final attainment, but one doesn't retreat from it anymore. Having acquired the body of concentration, to the end of time one does not awaken. Those bound by impressions and afflictions, fettered by obsession, intoxicated by the wine of concentration, stay in the realm void of impulse. As a drunken person wakes up when there is no alcohol. Thus will they attain the body of mind known as the enlightened state. Just as an elephant sunk in mud does not run here and there, so do hearers remain sunk in the intoxication of absorption. The empowerment of the human lords is purified by vows, from consecrating concentration, of the first and 10th stages. As space, rabbit horn, and a barren woman's son are spoken of though non-existent, so imagination in regard to things. The world caused by impressions is not non-existent, not real or unreal at all. Those who see are liberated, familiar with the selflessness of phenomena. What is imagined as self-existent is only a name. Relative being is dependent. The absolute I always call verity, in every scripture. Specification, word group, and especially name. The ignorant and stupid sink like huge elephants in the mud. The celestial vehicle, the Brahma vehicle, and that of hearers too, that of the realized and the solitary. I speak of these vehicles. There is no fixity of vehicles as long as thought operates. But when thought has disappeared, there is neither vehicle nor travelers. Thought, imagination, perception, intellect, and consciousness too, the receptacle, the mover of the triple world. These are synonyms for mind. Life, warmth, consciousness, and dwelling, the capacity to live, intellect and cognitive consciousness, variously describe imagination. The body is maintained by the mind. The intellect always thinks. Consciousness as the domain of thought is separate from the sense consciousnesses. Craving is called the mother, ignorance likewise the father. By understanding objects, consciousness is called awakened. The saints are aggregated inclinations, the community is the 5 clusters. By constant cutting off, the result of action becomes immediate. The pair of the selfless and afflictions, and the 2 obstructions. Those who attain inconceivable disappearance by transformation are the realized. The end and the method and individual instruction. Those who see with knowledge of distinctions are not overcome by speculative thought. Being is not found to be real as imagined by the naive. How do thinkers not seek liberation by non-being? By viewing the constructed as having origin and dissolution, they nurture the twofold notion but don't know the reasons. Truth is one, nirvana, beyond understanding. The world as imagined one should see. As like a pithless tree, a dream, a magical illusion. There is no passion, hostility, delusion, or personality. The clusters produced by craving are there like a dream. Between the night of realization and the night of complete emancipation, nothing whatsoever has been proclaimed by me. It is in reference to the stability of first-hand truth that I have spoken. So have other Buddhas, no differently from me. The self seems there like a thing. The clusters are out of sight. The clusters seem there by thinking. Self is not found in them. By perceiving the beginning by afflictions associated with humankind, one is liberated from all miseries by seeing the world as subjective thought. Those to whom the world is produced by causes and conditions are attached to the four extremes. They are not experts in my teaching. The world does not come to be real or unreal. Neither is it non-existent, or true or false at all. How can it be imagined by the simple in terms of causes and conditions? When one sees the world as neither existent nor non-existent, neither real nor unreal, then thought ceases and one attains selflessness. Unoriginated are all things, since they're produced from conditions, for effect is all conditions. Being is not born from effect. Effect does not produce effect. Duality in effect would follow. Yet the non-existence of effect is not obtained by the consequence of duality. When one sees the constructed as an object without support, as appearance is only thought, I call it the content of mind. The inherent formation of matter is due to conditions, without a true state. The supreme ultimate existence, Brahma, I say is this matter. The self is really representation. It is not there as a thing. The nature of the clusters as clusters is also representational, not substantial. Equality is of four kinds. Appearance, cause, receptacle, and equality of selfless is the fourth for practitioners of yoga. The cessation of all views, beyond the fabricated and fabrication, I say mind alone is inconceivable and has no production. Not being, nor yet non-being, being, being and non-being, mind alone freed of thought I call verity. Verity, emptiness, the limit, nirvana, the realm of reality, the mental body, thought, I call mind alone. Bound by influences of imagination, diverse, produced by thought, humans' worldly thought construction grows outward. The perceived is not there outside. The diversity of thought appears. The appearance of body, possession, and abode I call the content of mind. Listeners' knowledge of extinction, the source of the birth of Buddhas, of individual illuminates and heirs of the victors, comes from having no afflictions. There is no external form. Subjective thought appears outside. Not understanding their own thought, the naive conceive it concrete. External substance, a view of the variety of subjective thought, is covered by rationalization by the unknowing. The deluded, who apply the four extremes. When the learned know subjective thought is imaged as objects, it is not a matter of reasons, nor points of argumentation, nor examples and elements of a syllogism. One should not construe an imagined description by imagination, for imagination proceeds based on what is construed. Because of unbroken mutual connection, things make a single impression. Because of immersion, notice of anything else does not occur to people. Imagination following thought and mental factors. And what appearances of things occur in the triple world, this is imagined as self-existent. I explain the 12 sense media as from the combination of appearances and seeds. The process of formation as from the combination of subject and object. Like an image in a mirror, or eye floaters of the visually impaired, so do the ignorant see mind covered by impressions. For imagination starts when an object is fabricated by subjective imagination. The thing is not there externally as imagined by dogmatists. As the ignorant unknowingly take a rope for a snake. Not knowing it is an object of subjective thought, they imagine an object external. So the rope and ropeness are neither one nor other. But it is an error of subjective thought by which the rope is imagined. For what is not imagined by any idea is not perceived, but it should not be understood not to exist. This is the essential nature of phenomena. Non-existence presupposes existence, existence presupposes non-existence. Hence non-existence is not accessible. So one should not conceive of existence. What the imagined is conceived as, that is not what it is in itself. How can imagination go on after seeing it's not made of anything? Form does not exist by the nature of form, like a picture, cloth, and so on. When the perceptible is not known, imagination is therefore born. If that imagination is constructed in beginningless confusion, how is the existence of things mistaken? Tell me, O sage. There is no thingness to things. The content of mind is perceived. Imagination goes on when not seeing one's own mind. If the imagined doesn't exist as the ignorant one imagines, it is otherwise, but is not understood by intelligence. If it exists to the wise, that is not what's imagined by the ignorant. That then is the falsehood of the wise are equal to the foolish.